Hayo and welcome to Planet Plipcam, the channel for everything Planet Coaster console. Now today in this video we're going to be reviewing the brand new Ghostbusters DLC that just came to Planet Coaster console. Now I'm on the Xbox Series S and we are at 40% build limit with all of the pieces, so you can see there's an indication for the size of this DLC. Now there was some controversy over the price of this DLC. It is actually £12.99 in British pounds, and obviously that is a bit pricey for a DLC, the most expensive that we have ever had, and obviously it does not even come in a bundle. So I think this review will be so helpful for you if you have not yet purchased it, to see whether it is actually worth it for you. So we're going to go through all of the pieces, but first we do actually have a new staff member in the game. So we have the Stay Puft Entertainer, and in this review I have split up all of the pieces into kind of the Ghostbusters stuff and then things that we can use elsewhere in the park, which is the stuff that I'm really interested in myself. So we've got all of these different characters. We've got Egon. I'm not too big of a fan of Ghostbusters. I did enjoy the film, but I'm not too clued up on it. We've got Peter Venkman celebrating there, all got different animations, which is really nice. We got Raymond Ray there, and the last one here, he is Winston Zeddemore, so he's celebrating there, and we've got loads of different animatronics which are perfect for maybe if you're creating the film. I'm obviously not too interested in these. This is Gozer as well. I think she's a baddie in the movie, but yeah, I do like all the other pieces that we have in this DLC, so we can use them for realism in the park, and in this DLC there are quite a few brilliant pieces for that. So we have all of these different kind of big, expanded, scaled up proton packs. These are from the film obviously, and these you could maybe place on a wall near a ride for the theming. And then you've got all your things like the pedals, the traps, all for all of the Ghostbusters to use. And yeah, there's such an array of different things that you can place around your park to make a really immersive experience. And obviously you have the Ghostbusters career mode also, which I may be making some videos on, and need to check that out. But you can see we've got that Ecto containment unit, and these are all utilised in that career mode. So definitely looking forward to going through that. And it does make up for some of the price of it, as obviously it's more expensive, and it is good to see that they have added some more content to make up for that money that you are paying for this DLC. So yeah, on the whole, I do think that this is worth it, this DLC, but you'll have to wait and see if it is for you by watching this video and seeing later on. We are going to go through all of the different pieces that are great for realism. We have the car, the big Ecto, I think it's Ecto car, and as in this DLC you've got all of the obviously branded stuff, and that is just why the DLC costs so much. Obviously the IP for this brand is obviously much more expensive for Planet Coasters to buy, so they need to make up for that by charging you more. So I understand, and I do like how they are collaborating with other films. Obviously they're not anymore for the PC edition. This is just bringing it all over to the console, but I am very happy to have it, as you'll see later we have many usable pieces elsewhere in the game. So then you have this other like set of all of these ghosts. Now these can be used with the flat ride, track ride, and there's loads of different idle ghosts. You can deactivate them and choose how many points you want to give them on the shot. We'll see later, the last thing we'll do in the video, we'll be having a go just on a mock-up of the flat ride, the truck ride that you can shoot on. So that came as a free update when it was released in the PC version, and that came as a shooter ride, and then they also implemented it into the paid DLC content. So then you can see all of these are fully recolorable, which is really nice. You've obviously got the Slimer at the back there, he's my favourite one. All of these will look quite good in higher budget parks, but you will have to be careful not to place them everywhere in your parks if you're not going for the Ghostbusters theme, as they are quite high-tech kind of pieces, which will be expensive for some of your parks. So just looking through them all here, there are quite an array of different ones, and yeah, it is quite a big piece count of this DLC, as obviously it's something to market for Planet Coaster. So yeah, it's the tribute to the 1984 film, and it's what they've said, it's the main selling points for them. they've gone for props as the Proton Packs, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and the fully sized Ecto 1. So they're the ones they're branding the most, and obviously these are obviously in the trailers, all of these animatronics. You have different slime pieces, but what I would say about those, what I am disappointed in, is that they are only green, which is such a shame, because you could use them as basic shape pieces to make signs or something, but they're only coming green, they're not recolorable, so that is very disappointing. We've got these Vins, raw animatronics, the Vins characters, and there's something else that you can shoot in the game, which is cool. And obviously we'll have a look at that maybe in another video, looking at all of the different career mode aspects that you get in the DLC. So then we also get some more special effects. So we get the Ghostbusters lightning, and this is like purple lightning. It's really tall, and at night it looks pretty spectacular. And yeah, you can see there. And then we've also got this smoke, the small one, and then the big one. This is the big one here, the Ghostbusters mist, large, and then you can see just to the right we've got the smaller one there. So moving on then, we've also got a last special effect, which is like this kind of turbine, kind of all the way around, whirlwind, and it's called the Ghostbusters swirling or something or other. And I could imagine you placing it on a building, and yeah, just placing it there, and like it's going to take up parts of the building, almost like they have in the Wizard of Oz, the Dorothy taking up all of her house and barn. So yeah, that's basically all of the Ghostbuster branded pieces, and we obviously have the rest that come with the Stay Puft branding. So we have a vending machine that backs off what they did with the World's Fair pack, and obviously you've got the products actually in the vending machine, which is so cool. So I'm really happy to have another one of those. The Stay Puft brand will definitely be going around my park because the branding logo is so cool. And yeah, definitely be getting it around my park and integrating it there, as the signs are really nicely detailed. At the back you can see, oh, you've got your marshmallow cups, and it looks like they will walk away, the guests, with a marshmallow cup and eat them from there. So we've got some neon ones. We'll take a look at night time just to show you how they look. Some of them are lit, some of them are non-lit. You've got one of each, and yeah, you've got the nice awning, the different stands for just outside, and obviously you can add them to the scenery shop to encourage people to go to your shop. So that's basically all I'd say the recognisable Ghostbusters pieces. Apart from, we'll just move on to here, we've got the Stay Puft characters, the big ones. Sadly these aren't recolorable, I wish they were, but maybe Ghostbusters didn't want their big mascot being rebranded as anything else and wanted to keep it as on brand in the game. And then the coaster that you do get with this DLC is the Little Spud. So it's a junior roller ghoster, and nice play on words there. But the train does look quite good. It's got the slime on it at the back. It's got some more slime, like it's going so fast. But in reality, this ride is obviously a kiddie coaster, and it goes really slow. I'm not sure why they put so many trains and cars on this ride, but it is a bit frustrating when you see the blueprint. But I definitely reduce the number of cars that you have, just to reduce the capacity of the ride and hopefully make it a little bit faster, as it won't take as long to get off the lift hill. So as you can see, we're taking a POV of this ride at the moment, and this is the Slimer ride, the kid-friendly ghost train, as this is one of the two rides that you get in this pack, so it's quite a cool ride. It would be nice to have a new kind of functioning coaster, but it is just another train head to add to what we had already with the dragon, and then the little Wendigo coaster that you might know as like the little bug. So in comparison to the Stay Puft heads, this coaster isn't really small, so obviously you would have to be using the Stay Puft stuff if you are doing a Ghostbusters park. I would be loving to do a kind of Ghostbusters section to a park, maybe not a whole park, but maybe if I did a Studios park, I would love to do it. The excitement was very low, although I'm sure some people would really enjoy that coaster. So yeah, you've got that ride there. So I mean, it's a decent ride. It's not something to make you excited. It's not making the DLC worth your money quite yet, but as you'll see, we are heading over into these pieces. Now just look how many building sets we actually have. I didn't realise until I started watching some of the other reviews of this DLC, like Geekism did such a brilliant job. He said they didn't market how many building pieces they have, and for me, who doesn't really want to build so many Ghostbusters parks, I do want to be using all of the other pieces that come in the game, and that is why I've purchased this DLC to use in my parks. And it's obviously, I do want to review other parks and want to open them and have a look at them properly, so I do need to have all of the DLCs in the game, which I currently do. I'm very grateful for. But yeah, just look at all of these different walls pieces. They've really integrated the glass. I'm not too sure if this came out after the glass update. I'd be very certain really that it did come up after the PC glass update. But yeah, that came out at the same time as the Studios pack. And yeah, it just does look so cool. Just look at that row of building pieces, all the same style. It's going to be perfect for your all of your shop fronts. And as Shapstick says, obviously a brilliant creator on the Xbox version of the Planet Coaster console game, he's been using all of these glass pieces already within the first day. I'm filming this after a day after release, because I got the Studios review up, which you can definitely check out on the channel. But he's been using them with all of his souvenirs that we've all been pushing each other to try and get done perfectly. And yeah, what a brilliant job these pieces will do to make shop fronts. So there's just some alternate uses for all of these build pieces, and that's what I'm really here for. We've got all of these Romanesque kind of building pieces, the trims, the columns. You can't complain that we don't have enough columns in the game now, and really we do have enough enough pieces to really go into Planet Coaster and go all out on building a mega park. Obviously not too big, but detail everything as you would desire, as we're very nearly caught up with the actual PC version of the game. So we've got to go with those Romanesque pillars and everything. We've got these wall pieces too, obviously recolorable, and with all of the glass I did struggle to place them. The grid was having a mare at some points, but you will see later on that we do have some exciting grid developments in Planet Coaster console. We've got the 4-meter window wall, which is a really cool one. You can even recolor the sills of the windows. I'll definitely be using that in the game, and I think that these 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 4 or 5 wall sets will definitely form a basis to all of my realistic builds. Never mind all of the old wooden plank spooky builds that I used to do. These are so much more realistic, and I think these will form a real basis for my builds in Planet Coaster console. We've got smaller, more 90-degree pieces. These are the firehouse walls, and yeah, they just got so much detail compared to the other pieces. You've got ones that you can put doors in, archways, maybe queue lines. Sadly, those yellow pieces on the archway aren't recolorable to my knowledge, so that's a shame. And yeah, we've got all these glass. It's so nice to not have to use loads and loads of pieces for just one 4-meter grid piece. And we have finally been given the opportunity to do that. And then to go along with all of these build pieces, we'll be given a real array of doors. And as you can see, we've got this black door here. I'll definitely be using this for lots of backstage areas. It's perfect, it's nice and blank, and maybe I can even theme it into the environment like they do in zoos, so you've blend it into the rockworks. That'll be a cool one to do. And then also we've got 2 more lights. They could have really included these in the studio pack, but yeah, I think when you buy the studio pack you kind of miss out on some things, just like the scaffolding and stuff in this pack. And yeah, they kind of do blend in nicely together. They're almost the same kind of theme, so it's really good for your studio parks. And then we've got the firehouse chimney, which Geekism did actually say you could use this as a recycle bin, so I'm just testing that out now and seeing how it would work, and I think it would do a pretty good job in your parks. We've got loads of more trims. The fences, the detail fences, will be really nice for a gateway, because obviously we've only got really the spooky gateway at the moment. Got more some pillars just for the interior also of your buildings, and yeah, and then we'll move on to those decal kind of pieces later on. So then we'll move on to these scaffolding pieces that I mentioned earlier. If you have seen my awesome Eiffel Tower build on my channel that I won the contest with, these will be so useful for this that build. I reduced my 4K blueprint certainly down to like 1K pieces. So yeah, I mean, it would have been brilliant to have those. But then I suppose it's more of an achievement to build it how I did, and definitely go check that video out if you haven't. I'm really proud of that one. And then you've got all of these temple pieces. I think this is the female baddie. I think this is her kind of headquarters. You've got a big sign, all of these pillars, big gargoyles, and big stone pieces. They're all perfect for the game. And yeah, I think they will all blend into your parks. You don't really need to be using all of these in the Ghostbusters theme, and you've got all of these gargoyles, as I say, really fit them into the adventure theme maybe. All these DLCs do seem to be overlapping now, and yeah, it's brilliant to have them all. And you can see just now we're going to head into looking at these building pieces. So these are actually diagonal building pieces. You can see I'm rotating them around, and it's going to make it a nightmare moving them around just like this, as you can see. But how cool, we have finally got diagonal pieces in the game, so you don't need to split from building anymore. You can just add those into the game if that is what you desire. And I think Nerd Chacho does stuff like that quite often, the diagonal builds. So I'll definitely be watching some of his videos, and I definitely recommend you to check some of his out also, to get some inspiration for not just building square buildings, which can be quite boring in the game. We've got some more tiles. These can be definitely used for the pathing systems. Cover up your paths just so they look like a big plaza. And yeah, we've got some weird, more big pillars. Don't know how I'll be using those, but yeah, that's those. And then we also have all of these different designs. This is so cool. So we don't have custom billboards where people would be usually adding things like paths or walls, but this is just perfect because this was the kind of stuff PC players were doing, and you can sync these into your paths maybe to make a cobblestone facade, but these are meant for the walls, but I think I'll be using them for the floor more often than not. And yeah, you can see all of those. They'll be perfect for my flooring and maybe just the lower sections of your walls. We have these big cityscapes with all of the pieces you can see in there. It actually does look like it's a proper set, so I could imagine these being used in a dark ride situation. They obviously are a little bit small to what real life is in Planet Coaster, as obviously Planet Coaster's pieces are absolutely humongous, but these are much smaller. We do have some more useful pieces, I'd say. This Stay Puft sign is really cool, and it's really kind of retro. We've got this piece. Now this is a Spook Central vent. Now I've separated this from the Spook Central building set because this is perfect for your AC unit. We've obviously got one of those in the base game. We've got the sci-fi different poles and tubes, but you can use these now. You can see these facades here. Those three pieces that I've just highlighted there will be perfect and definitely going around all of my buildings. Even though they are 2D, it would have been nice to make them 3D. And then we have the graffiti. We have 6 of these. These are all creators, as far as I'm aware. All the developers are different, like prominent developers in the game. They're nice just for some realism. And then entrance around the corner. Definitely be using that around my coasters, or even some shops and restaurants. Then also we have these books, and you might be wondering why do we have books in the game, but we did get them in the Spooky Pack. But it's nice if you didn't purchase the Spooky Pack to now have some books in the game. And moving on to 3 pieces which I'm so happy to have. These chairs, they will couple up nicely with the security guards sitting down for point of sales. We've got a lovely chandelier, nicely detailed, and you can colour the lights. And then we've got a tablecloth round table, the Sedgwick Hotel round table that you will have seen the sign for previously in this video. And yeah, those 3 pieces will really add to interiors of the game. And now that we have some smaller pieces in this DLC, we'll definitely be able to do more interiors in the game. So obviously TMTK is not in the game, so these will help with that. We've got fire escape evacuation points. Some of these did actually come in the Studios pack, so I was surprised to see them in the Ghostbuster pack, but it is nice to have some more, as I think the Ghostbuster ones are actually better than the Studio pack offerings. So then there is really your look at all of the pieces that we get in the Ghostbusters pack. Now, it's up to you. Is this £13 worth of DLC? Do you think that this is worth your money? Now, for my opinion, I would say yes, this is worth your money. Sorry, I think I made a mistake earlier. Worth your money, just because you get so many realistic pieces in your DLC. So what I said that I might rename the Studios pack as was maybe a realistic DLC. And it's certainly the same with this one. You've got some more realistic wall sets and then some smaller pieces, and that is just what we need in the game since we don't have the TMTK. So yeah, I would recommend this pack. Obviously it is more expensive, as Geekism was saying in his video. Obviously he's a huge inspiration for this channel, and I'm so grateful for what he has done in the past years. He was saying you either buy this just to support Frontier, to maybe encourage more DLCs like collaborations. I don't think that will happen, as obviously we'll only just get what they got in PC, and then that'll be done, I think, with the game. Personally, we do have hopes maybe for custom billboards. I would love that, but yeah, I think that maybe you buy this just for the realistic pieces. Maybe you might play the Ghostbusters career mode once. Maybe probably won't play it again, but yeah, give it a go. I'm not too interested in that. Sandbox is just for me. And you can see you've got the Ghostbusters experience track ride here, and you can move some of your animatronics here, the displays, and you can move them over to sorry, I'm losing my words here. You can move them over right by your track and shoot them. So I'm having a bit of a trouble here, as obviously we weren't angled towards them. So we're going to move some over and just show you how you can use it. You'll see more of that in the actual career mode, and they're quite prominent in that kind of branding, how you can go in and just play around and shoot all of these villains all the time. So they have redone and updated in the recent patch notes. They did redo the shooting ride, because obviously it is important that they get it right, and I think they have done. It's much easier to do than the old shooting ride that we had in the base game, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, really happy with this ride. And yes, it is themed, but yeah, we can always use the shooting ride. We'll just go through the blueprints quickly as I round off this video. You can see this cool basketball hoops. They've done quite a good job with these blueprints, as other blueprints in the game are a bit lazy, personally I'd say, from Frontier. But yeah, thank you very much for watching a bit of a shorter video than the Studios pack. I would definitely rank the Studios pack above this DLC. However, I really wanted to get my hands on it. And if you are a fan of the Ghostbusters pack, then I'm sure you will love to buy this DLC. And yeah, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe for more Planet Coaster videos, and also like the video if you have enjoyed it. I'm so grateful for all of the support recently. We've recently hit 100 subscribers. I'm trying to get something sorted special for that, and I do appreciate each and every one of you. So I'd love to see you join my Planet Coaster console YouTube journey. So thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next time.